southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
High winds are expected to be the biggest threat tonight as a line of strong to severe storms continues to sweep across the state. When will those storms be in your area? Chief Meteorologist Andrew Dockery begins our severe weather alert day coverage. Andrew?
Well, Steve, it's been a very active one across the Commonwealth. Of course, the wind's going to be the big story for us, and the question is, when will we actually see some storm activity? We take you now to Pinpoint Doppler, and you could see a very active line as you work out to the areas of the west. What's unique about this setup, though, is these storms are working northeast, so we're actually going to be working and looking down to our southwest for some of that development, and that's going to be the big story for us. So if you're in Wayne County near Monticello, Powersburg, the community there in Wayne County, you could be having some showers and storms here in the next couple of minutes. Notice the severe weather outlook, still a slight risk, and I do believe that severe weather is still possible for a good chunk of our viewing area. If you do not get those showers and storms, you will still get some gusty winds. Notice winds ranging anywhere from 10 to 36 miles per hour. You factor in the wind gusts, and you could see the peak now actually showing up there in Lexington, 59 mile per hour wind gusts, and the storms haven't even made it to Fayette County. Steve, it's going to be these winds as we head into tonight that are certainly to cause a few issues.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it, Andrew. Thank you very much. A state of emergency is declared in McCracken County in far western Kentucky after a tornado there this morning. Officials say it touched down in West Paducah, injuring at least one person. The twister left damage at the Mount Zion Baptist Church. The preschool next door also had some damage, but the 40 students inside were not hurt. Police say he could have injured or even killed people. Now a Pike County man is behind bars facing a DUI charge. This is cell phone video of the incident. As he was swerving back and forth, one couple did not let him leave their sight. They followed as he barely avoided crashes and ran off the road. Police eventually caught up to this man, Kevin Hopkins, in a grocery store parking lot. WYMT's Connor James talked with the couple who followed him.
No, he's going.
Oh my God.
Nearly 10 miles.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we were terrified.
That's about how far Kayla Childers and her husband Steven followed this man, Kevin Hopkins, after noticing his erratic driving.
He just wrecked again and got back on the road, and he's going toward oncoming traffic.
I mean, I was screaming. I was scared to death.
Steven sat shotgun with 3 kids in the back seat. The driver going off the road multiple times.
He's back on the road. He's back on the road.
He wrecked twice in front of us. Yeah, he had wrecked twice and made it back onto the road.
Back onto the road,
and he is going to hit this. Oh my God.
nearly sideswiping this bus and almost hitting multiple others.
But every car he passed, he ran off the road. But there was a few places where cars couldn't get off the road, and he managed to get over just in time.
The whole time, Kayla talking with dispatchers until police arrived.
The operator of that vehicle was impaired.
Captain Aaron Thompson praising the two for following along.
Thankfully, there were no injuries to any other party. There was no collision with any other vehicle in this situation, and all that is due to the concerned citizen following the vehicle, letting us know so we could do what we need to do.
And thankful.
If we hadn't stayed with him, that he probably wouldn't, he would have killed somebody. Or himself, for that matter.
Off the road, he almost hit a school bus head on.
He is going to kill somebody right here.
That it didn't get any worse. In Pike County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Hopkins was charged with DUI. He was taken to the Pike County Detention Center. Police say whenever you see someone you believe may be impaired and behind the wheel, you should call them immediately. The murder trial of Shelby Shell in Bell County is coming to a close. Shell is accused of murdering former Everett's Mayor Ronnie King 6 years ago in Harlan County in 2013. The defense just concluded its closing arguments around 5:30. In their closing, they urged the jury to consider the possibility that there was not enough proof by the prosecution to find Shell guilty of killing King.
The most important thing in each of these instructions is to flip over to the verdict form and sign the not guilty line.
Now the Commonwealth is finishing up its closing arguments. We expect to have a verdict from the jury either later tonight or tomorrow morning. A man charged with killing his girlfriend's father will go back to court 1 week from today. Michael Yates pleaded not guilty yesterday. He's being held with no bond. Investigators say he stabbed Charles Ratliff one time. Ratliff's daughter told us her dad died in her arms. Today she sent us a picture of her father. This is Mr. Ratliff, the man that died. His daughter told us the two fought often. Funeral arrangements are still incomplete. They're still waiting for the state medical examiner to perform an autopsy. Yesterday we learned about a theft at the Whitesburg Little League concession stand, and while 2 arrests have been made, police are not certain the man and woman behind bars are responsible for the theft. They are asking for help finding the more than $8,000 worth of stolen equipment before opening day kicks off in less than a month. WYMT's Justin Case has more on this developing story. Justin?
Steve, a lot more sports and children who take advantage of this Little League facility. You can actually see behind me there's a softball game going on here, but baseball, softball for youth leagues. Also middle schools play baseball and softball here, as well as youth boys and girls soccer as well. But officials from the police department say thieves came up here, took a crowbar to this door right here, pried it open and went inside and started stealing everything in there. Now officials with the Little League say that once the thieves were inside the concession stand, they say they stole close to $10,000 worth of equipment, and we were told it's things a number of different things like pizza ovens, popcorn machines, cash boxes, air conditioners, computers, and even a four-wheeler. Now, officials yesterday arrested a man and woman near Isom who were found with that four-wheeler. Police say they believe others are likely involved in this theft. They say the real victims through all of this are the children.
This is for our youth. This is based solely for the youth of Letcher County. And I think it's a shame and a disgrace that people are so desperate that they consider nothing else but themselves and committing a crime that they would steal from our children.
Steve, now we are told that 2 homes have been searched in connection to this investigation. So far, police have not found any of the stolen items besides the four-wheeler. Now, officials from the Little League say this concession stand here behind me, this raises a lot of money for the youth leagues in terms of upgrades and repairs to the fields, batting cages, even pays for uniforms and other things for the children. So because of that, officials from the league are offering a cash reward for information that helps lead to the items getting back and an arrest in the case. We're going to have much more on this developing story tonight at 11. Steve?
All right. Hopefully they get some answers. Justin, thank you. Today we learned the Kentucky Court of Appeals upheld a conviction in a 2013 high-profile triple murder case. Dalton Stidham pleaded guilty to shooting Caitlin Cornett, Jackie Cornett, and Taylor Cornett in the parking lot of Hazard Community and Technical College. Stidham appealed the case, arguing he did not receive proper counsel prior to pleading guilty, but the appeals court upheld his conviction. Stidham is serving 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole. Magistrates and the judge executive will no longer be going to McDonald's for coffee to settle their differences in Breathitt County. Instead, Circuit Judge Frank Fletcher ruled in favor of the magistrates. The 2 sides were at odds over Judge Executive Jeff Noble's appointment of a county road supervisor. Noble wanted to pay that person $55,000, but magistrates would not agree to the appointment. Judge Fletcher ordered the 2 sides to figure things out through physical court meetings. A big day for the Pikeville Lady Panthers. It marked the first time a girls basketball team from the 15th region played in Rupp Arena. While they were playing for themselves and the community, there was even more on their minds today. They paid respects to Officer Scotty Hamilton. Of course, yesterday marked the 1-year anniversary of his death in the line of duty. The Lady Panthers wore a band around their shoe with his name on it.
It just shakes everybody. It shook our entire community. We have some girls who are family with him on our team that are managers and things. And I guess, you never know. And that's the thing that we always talk about, that you got to give your life everything you have.
Pikeville's head coach Christy Orm is married to a police officer. He helps his wife coach. Orm says talking with her players and keeping Scotty's legacy alive in the community helps teach our youth that police officers are not the bad guys. We will have highlights of the game coming up a little later in sports. And we're just a little more than 24 hours away now from tip-off in the SEC tournament between Kentucky and an opponent to be determined. It could either be Alabama or Ole Miss. WYMT's Will Puckett is live in Nashville with who Kentucky fans would rather face. Will?
Steve, welcome back to the Music City. We are on the corner of Broadway and 5th Avenue, right in the heart of Nashville, and also SEC Tournament Central. And while, like you said, Kentucky does not play tonight, many Kentucky fans are getting ready to head inside of Bridgestone to see the two teams that they could face tomorrow. Now, Kentucky has a shot at vengeance against an Alabama team that beat them earlier in the season on the road. Now, they could also take on an Ole Miss team that they barely squeaked by towards the end of the season. Fans, they think they match up better against the Rebels, but they'd love to redeem themselves against the Crimson Tide.
Alabama want to pay them back. We need to, for them to beat Ole Miss and then play them back for revenge.
Ole Miss. Alabama has already beat us once, and I know we can beat Ole Miss, so.
Yeah, I think we match up with Ole Miss a little bit better. I think our front court, especially if we have Reed Travis back, our front court can pretty much just outmatch them.
Steve, Ole Miss and Alabama tip off in a little less than an hour. After that, we will find out who Coach Cal and company will take on tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern time from inside Bridgestone Arena. Don't go anywhere. We'll have much more coverage. Willie Hope is coming up in sports, and we're going to have a ton more coverage tomorrow before the game and hopefully throughout the rest of the weekend. For now, live outside of Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Will, thank you very much. And if you want even more UK basketball, if you missed the special and want to see it again, we'll have an encore presentation of Beyond the Bench on the road with Kentucky basketball. Follow behind the scenes with the Cats for their game at Mississippi State last month. You can catch the hour-long special again tonight at 7 o'clock here on WYMT.
Well, the winds are rocking across eastern Kentucky anywhere from 10 to 30 miles per hour. The wind gusts, they're cranking up too. We'll break down a windy evening in 3 minutes.
But first, inmates help build their future home in Laurel County. Taylor Upchurch has that story next.